Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you listen to the podcast, you won't have known that I just jumped in without playing the intro, which we need for the podcast. So fuck, I do it back and do it again. But anyway, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ashram My name is Graham Day. I'm joined by the man that they call Baby. Bit more bass today, bit more bass. You did, for some reason, got RTX'd even though you just went. Did you say hello with a high pitch or something then?
Yeah, it was kind of like I'll try and do it. Hello.
Oh, okay.
It was like that.
May have just been a tone too high, so you just like mouthed hello at the camera.
Too high.
How is everyone doing today? How are we all doing? If you're in the chat, please feel free to say hello. Say hello. We have an interesting. I mean, do you know what? Spoilers. We're talking about the PS5. Everyone's going to be talking about the PS5, but that's what we're talking about today. Obviously, we do have some other stories as well, but there was the PS5 teardown yesterday. If you haven't seen the video, we'll give you our thoughts and impressions on that, as well as a lot of other stuff. But if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved. Let us know that you're here. Use your voice, because my name is Graham. This is Bib, and we together are I Scream uploads in true I Screamy fashion. This is your scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. Some say the UK's #1 video game podcast. We have that some, but it all counts, and we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. A little bit of a discussion, a debate, and it's important that we do, because, as I said, we turn this into a podcast, a video for YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you're in the chat, which I can see some of you already are, please feel free to jump in and give us those thoughts and impressions. Speaking of thoughts and impressions, Bib, new day, thoughts. What have you been up to?
Sorry, I was just reading an article. Now, I'm not sure the tone of it yet, or if it's favourable or a disapproving one, but I've just seen it on my Twitter timeline before we went live. The Cyberpunk 2077 crunch backlash, and it's something obviously that we touched on last week. And I'm not sure where the article's going yet, but it's from Polygon. So I don't know whether or not this is something that we'll save for tomorrow, because I want to read it first before it could just be covering old ground.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to drop it in the document, and then we can jump on it if needs be. Good morning, West.
I was thinking to look for anyway. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, I thought you'd done that. I'm just shouting over you. Fuck you! You've said enough. Shut up! Get out of here. Good morning, West. How's things, dude? Chucky says the Bibby fart clip still makes me laugh every time I see it. Do you know what? We had to change the intro video because Jimmy, who's our video guy, put the video together, and he put the parp thing above me, and I was like, you do not blame me for that. You can clearly tell Bibby goes, what? Yeah. So I made him move the parp thing over Bibby so you can see it. Gagard says, OMG, the sound is okay this morning. Don't tempt fate. I mean, just because it's okay now, it could go wrong. Like I said, it did kind of sort itself out. I changed something in the settings. Have a quick look at the settings, see if I can find out what audio. So the sample rate, I dropped the sample rate of the audio from 48 kilohertz to 44.1, which apparently fixed it. But it's back to doing it again now, so I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's something to do with the RTX voice mic, which do you know what? I'm tempted to turn RTX off unless I have people in the background or fans or anything. But do you know what? I'm not gonna.
I don't think you need the fans anytime soon, do you?
I don't know. This room gets hot as balls. I have so many lights and shit. So yeah, I'm already t-shirted. And when I was saying I was wearing sweatpants this morning, tracksuit pants, it's really, really thin because I'm already Royston Vasey. So yeah. Anyway, good morning, Gagad. Good morning, Chucky. Morning, lad, says Gary as well. Mr. GC, thank you very much for the loving tweet yesterday. Appreciate that stuff. If any of you guys want to tweet out about the scoop, then feel free, because then the more people we get in here, the more discussion we have, and the better it is. Thank you very much for any support in that sense, even if it's just retweets or anything, or just being here. We appreciate it. Speaking of being here, Mr. T, Polygon. I hear the people there are a bunch of squares.
Can hear the crickets chirping in the background.
Gary Clark's response is just, mate. Love you too. A bit of a hangover this morning after smashing the pub quiz last night. Smashed it out of the park by knowing the meaning of BMX. Is it British motocross? Is that what it is? Is that, or maybe I'm wrong? I can't remember.
I mean, if you're the only person in the pub that gets that right, it's one of them. and you just stand up and you just scream and everyone. Has anybody seen Phoenix Nights? Where this, he goes, he died in a plane crash, and young Kenny goes, "Yes, get in there!" And everyone just standing at him. He's just he's doing a little dance and realise what the fucking else is cheering.
Nearly bicycle motocross. Screw the old locals. Oh, do you know what? There we go. I didn't know, so there we go. I didn't get it. Get in there. Pirate, thank you very much for the host. West as well, a few minutes ago. Thank you very much for the host boys. How are we all doing today? We all good? We all good? Are we all good? Nice. I'm saying nice. You've not answered, but nice. Let's jump into the news, though. As mentioned, obviously, the first story of the day. I'll jump into this. The first story of the day is looking at the official Pirates PogChamp 10. Hey, thank you very much for the 10 bits.
Hey.
What a guy. We are looking at the official PlayStation 5 teardown, which happened yesterday. This is an article written by Tom Ivan for VGC, and it says, official Sony PlayStation 5 teardown video reveals the console's internal components. Do you know what? I had never seen that there was a PS4 teardown video until 3 days ago when I ripped off the top of my PS4 Pro to try and get it to cool down, and literally 3 days later the exact same video with a PS5 appears. So there you go. I mean, a million people have probably seen this teardown video, but it's the first time I've decided that I wanted to tear it down myself. But anyway, jumping into the news, Tom Ivan says removable sides, SSD expansion and more explored in Sony's official hardware examination. Sony Interactive Entertainment, SIE, has released an official PlayStation 5 teardown video showing off the upcoming console's internal components. In a PlayStation blog post, SIE EVP of Hardware, SIE's EVP of Hardware Engineering and Operation, Masayasu Ito, said the company began conceptualizing PS5 in 2015. In this teardown video of the PS console, this is a quote, by the way, in this teardown video of the PS5 console, you will be able to see how we have thoughtfully integrated our technology into this console, he said. We felt it was inevitable to make a generational leap in terms of performance in order to... Actually, I thought I'd read that wrong. Okay, we felt it was inevitable to make a generational leap in terms of performance in order to deliver a new next-generation gaming experience. However, to do so, we had to balance every aspect of the system, from focusing on reducing the noise level to enhancing the cooling capacity more than ever before. We've also highlighted the mechanism in the video below that we've incorporated into the PS5 console to make operating sounds even quieter, Ito continued. After an extensive and complex trial and error process, we were pleased with the end result, and I cannot wait for our fans to get their hands on the PS5 console and hear it for themselves. A bit of irony there. He's talking about how quiet the fans are, and he can't wait for the fans to get their hands on and hear it for themselves. The console's two exterior white panels can be easily removed to reveal the cooling fan, which is built in at the top of the system when it's placed vertically and is capable of drawing in a lot of air from both sides, according to Ito. PS5 also has two dust catchers, and dust collected in them can be vacuumed out of the two holes, which are accessible when the exterior panels are removed. Sony has confirmed a PlayStation 5 release date of November 12th in the US, 19th in the UK is what we need to know. The PS5 will be priced at £450 for the standard edition, £360 for the digital edition, with the only difference between them being the former's inclusion of a disk drive. And there we go, we have some assets on screen. So the fan, the CPUs, the GPU, the heatsink, SSD controller, and that looks like a man that's just about to get involved in a Lego set, that last image. Look at that. It's just... have you seen this video, Bib? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I said to you, was it last week that I said there was people like Linus Tech Tips, Spawnwave Media, all them guys who do tech deep dives, and I was like, I'm excited to see them take it apart so I can see what's inside it, see what the heat sink's like and everything like that.
I mean, I need to stop you there because it just shows the influence that Ice Cream Uploads has. Because Bibby wanted to see Linus Tech Tips and Co. ripping the PlayStation apart. Sony were like, shit, fuck, Bibby wants to see this. Oh, do you know what? We've not even got time to send it out to Linus. Let's just get Masahiro Ito? Let's just get Mr. Ito to rip it apart now because Bibby wants to see it.
I never would have thought that someone official from PlayStation would be taking this apart for us. Like I would have put money on the first people taking this apart would be the people in the community that managed to get their hands on. I think it was you that said about the Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Like they would have just had the consoles to be able to show the games off, or write reviews ready for the game. They would never be able to take it apart. Yet here we are, 3 days later, someone's ripping apart a PlayStation 5. It's bonkers. But yeah, I mean, this all the stuff that's inside it. I mean, it's interesting that they're having to throw in, well, this is faster than the Xbox Series X. This one's faster than this is better than the Xbox Series X. It's like they've already given the ammunition. Coco, fuck off. Um, did you see my cat's tail just like just going around all over the place? She just fucking gets right with tits. Um, but yeah, it's I love these type of videos. I absolutely love them. Like the amount of care that it takes to. I imagine when we get one of these, it's not going to be as easy as he's making it out. He's already loosened every single screw that's in that unit before he's even bothered.
Although you say that, when he peels off the white bits of plastic, like the wings or whatever you want to call it on the side of the console, that reminded me of pulling off the top of my PS4 Pro. Because like, do you know when we were in the office and I laid down the
Yeah.
PS4 Pro, we were in the office and I was like starting to pull it and it started to do that plastic sort of creak. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was
It could
like,
go either way.
yeah, this is either going to come off or it's going to snap. And I went, do you know what? This is the office one. I'll do it with mine at home. So I went home and pulled mine off, and it was actually easy once you
You what?
once it.
You did what?
Easy tiger, easy tiger. It was actually easy once you knew what you were doing with it. But for that bit, like, and like, he clearly knew what was happening with it, but you saw like the same sort of like almost claw grasp on the plastic.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that was me 3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, the most important thing, well, I don't say it was one of the most important. It was one of the things that a lot of people was talking about, was the fact that you can take the thing off the bottom, the stand. You can
Mhm.
take the stand off if you wanted to lie it down sideways, without the need of the big stupid. Well, it's not a stupid thing. It's there for a reason. Um, but that big ugly stand underneath, you can take it off. There's a little cap on the inside for you to be able to put it in the side, so there's just not a gaping hole. I mean, I like that they've gone to that kind of detail for this console, and I think a tech teardown like this, for the nerds like me or like us that are in the chat that wanted to see exactly what's inside the console, and not only just for that. I mean, if you wanted to try and clean the fans yourself, it's always nice when you see a professional do it rather than watching someone who's got 100 views on a YouTube video. You end up doing it yourself. They didn't tell you that it rips the fan off the side or something like that.
Annoyingly, my next step to jump into, speaking about the stand and things like that, was, did anyone see Xbox UK's tweet yesterday? Xbox tried to do a Sony, this is how you lend games, or this is how you share games with PlayStation. Thanks, and that's it. Xbox tried to do that yesterday, and they did, in essence, but they've deleted it. The tweet has now gone, and I know the tweet is now gone because I quote tweeted it yesterday, and it's no longer there. I can show you that on screen in a second. But the gist of their tweet was, if anyone watched that PlayStation teardown video, Mr. Otto, or Ito, should I say, Ito-san, was sat there saying, "This is the PlayStation upright. If you want to lie it down, you can do, but you don't have this big dirty like black stand disc thing on the end. You can unscrew it off and then screw it back onto, clip it onto the bottom, and it has a cool little compartment to put the screw in and everything." And I'm watching that thinking, okay, that's pretty cool, because the chances are you're either, because of the size of this console, you're either going to be able to store it upright or vertical. The chances are you're probably not going to be able to do both. So whichever one you put it into, it's going to stay in that format for a long time anyway. I thought, okay, that makes sense. So the fact that you can take it off and you get it out of the way. Anyway, Xbox tweeted, and it was a good tweet. It was a banter tweet, but it was a good tweet, saying, "This is how you change the Xbox from upright to laid down." And there's just two images of one upright and one laid down. So they're going for the same sort of thing, saying, you have to get a screwdriver out and unscrew it and clip it on. And I quote tweeted that, so I could show you my quote tweet, but you can't see the original tweet because it's been deleted. But my quote tweet there saying, that ugly stand is still fixed in place though. PS5 is cumbersome, naturally, having to get a screwdriver out to unscrew the bottom off and then clip it on. And in the base, there's a little thing that you can put in the hole where the screw is to cover it up. So it all looks nice. The thought process is there to make it look good. But it's cumbersome. You need a screwdriver. Okay, it's not just clip off, clip on. Fine. Okay, PS5 is cumbersome, but it lets you reposition it, i.e. hide it. Because the Xbox, when you light it flat, one side, and if you're on the audio podcast, what I have right now is an image of the bottom of the Xbox Series X console. It has a coaster-looking stand to put it on, which is fine when it's upright, but when you lie it down on its side, one side just has a coaster on it. It looks like a lid, a round disc stuck on the end of the console, and it sticks out. You can see it. So anyway, I quoted it saying, I get it, you're taking the piss that you can lie the console down, but the reason you have to get a screwdriver out is because they don't want it to look ugly, which is what yours looks like. So yeah. Anyway,
I do like the fact that PlayStation have put they had the ability to be able to take it off and hide it. I mean, that stand is probably like an extra inch thickness on the bottom of the console. It may be the difference between someone fitting in the media unit. I don't think many people are going to fit these consoles in their media unit, especially the Xbox. The Xbox is like a PC tower. It's going to have to either go behind the TV or next to the TV stand. I don't think there's any way. Unless you have the biggest TV stand in the world to be able to fit this alongside it. But
do you know what?
The PlayStation 1, I've got a perfect place for it. It's going to be massive. It's probably going to be taller than my monitor and the monitor riser that it's on. But still, it's just a nice little place for it.
All that shows to me is that you're very small-minded. The fact that you don't think it's going to fit in your PC like media tower unit thing. I mean,
where are we going with this?
You can take off the size of the console. The console is your tower unit. You just store things inside the PlayStation. That's all you do now. Just put your TV.
Just go the fucking TV in the side of your console.
Yeah, like I say, no, you stand your TV on top of it and you just lift it up like it's like some sort of trunk. Just put things inside the PS5. Anyway, let's jump into the chat. I can see there's been quite a lot of comments. Either that guy is a midget or the PS5 is an absolute unit. Says Asin. Gary says, I knew the PS5 was big, but Jesus, is a unit and a half. I mean, that's the thing. You know it's big. When they give you the sizes, you know, okay, it's 100 centimetres or whatever. And you sit there and you think, okay, a 30 centimetre ruler is like that. Okay, it's 3 of those and 10 centimetres more-ish kind of thing. You're like, okay, this fucking huge. And you think, but even then you're thinking, oh, maybe it can't be that big. Can't be that big. And then you see some like AR mock-ups, like the ones that I did a few months back, in the living room next to the TV cabinet. I was like, take this with a pinch. This is AR, which isn't real. So, you know, it's not going to be legit. And then you see the actual unit and you've got like this dude, and it's like he has to get a ladder to climb up to touch the top of the console. It's like, fuck damn. Okay, that's a big old mama jamma. That's massive. All of what he says essentially translates to, look, lads, it's an absolute unit because we don't want it to sound like a turbine powering a country. This morning, I logged on, I opened my MyClub spins, because it's Thursday, Pez. Landed myself Neymar, obviously. Bad boy.
Did you?
I did.
You didn't tell me that, did you?
I did,
no, you didn't. Did you?
Neymar, Chilwell, and another. I can't remember who the other one was.
Yeah, all 3 of them would have fit in my squad.
Chilwell is okay, but he's not going to beat Roberto Carlos because Thunder Bastard foot. I'll keep him there forever. Neymar, I already have a front 3 of Ronaldo, Mbappe featured, who I got last week as well, by the way, and Salah, who I've had 3 times. So Neymar is good. He's just another option for the same sort of position. But then at right back, I've got Sergio Aurier goal ball or 82 rated Dani Alves goal ball. Both really good, but yeah. Anyway, the point of saying that is I turned that on and screaming coming from the console, like the little hamster inside that's rolling in the ball is absolutely being like electrocuted just to get it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, all of that not being there is amazing for me. I mean, it's not the biggest thing though. For me, I mean, the noise is the biggest thing for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have the issues that I have with the PlayStation. Throw a smoke grenade on PUBG, the house is on fire. That's literally it. The thing explodes. And that, I presume, is either down to, well, I say presume. Last week I presumed it was down to either dust build up inside the console or poor heat sinking, and I've opened the console up, there's very little dust in it, so it is poor heat sinking. But the other thing that came to mind was, is it dust? But in the video, it's basically you have a fan at the top, and you have, actually, I might have the images on here. Jump back to the article. Kind of. So this, I don't know if these, oh yeah, that's it. It's right at the bottom of the image though, so you can only just see it here at the bottom of the screen. That little black hole there, it's basically a port, so all of the dust from the fans gets chucked out into that channel, and you can just stick your vacuum cleaner on the end of that, and it just sucks all of the air through and takes all of the dust out to get it out of it. Obviously, not all of the dust. They do have a caveat on the video saying it won't be everything, but you can get rid of the majority of it, which is nice. I love that idea. The fact that it's big, it's because they're allowing you for good audio spread, not good audio spread, good heat spread, dust and dirt collection and removal. That kind of stuff is stuff you never really think about, but that's the stuff that makes you have to buy a new console halfway through the generation. Things overheating, being too close to other components, dust and crap building up inside it. So whilst it makes it an absolute unit, it's good though overall in terms of if they've thought through production and where the heat goes for that, then that, yeah, I'm on board for that. Jumping back into the chat, it looks massive. That's what she said, says West. I've no idea where it would fit in my sitting room. That's the thing. I mean, I'm okay because I can show you here. I've got my alternate cam. If it's still plugged in and turned on, it is. There you go. I'm putting mine here, so I have a bit more space than it kind of looks. Ignore all the wires going down. That's my Masters of the League controller pad there. But I have my PS4 Pro there, but I have a good bit of space between there, and I can angle my monitor in further if I need more space. So I'm going to have my tower from my PC, and then next to it I'm going to have the tower, which is my PS5. so literally, I'm just kind of like I have a draw unit, and one half of it is for PC and one half of it is for PlayStation. That's how big I'm expecting it to be. So mine's going to sit there. So I've kind of given up on the idea of it being in the living room, but then the PS4 will go downstairs again and back into the living room. So if I want to play games downstairs, me and Danielle can jump on the PS4 down there, but the PS5 is going to sit here. That's the plan. That's the plan. I've lost the scoop.
I think I might actually give my PlayStation 4 to my granddad. He didn't get into this gen. He's still playing his 360, bless him. But I think I might actually give him a flip because the sooner I can get rid of that, the better. I mean, if it's 99% of games are going to be playable on the PlayStation 5, I don't. The one thing that I do want to know though, and I don't know if this has been covered, if there's anybody in the chat that can help me out with this, we can upload our saves to the cloud, can't we? To the cloud, wherever that is. Would those saves work on your PlayStation 5 if you're playing the same PlayStation 4 game? I'll tell you why. If I start a Master League on PES 2021 on my PlayStation 4 and then download PES 21 on my PlayStation 5, will that cloud save work on my PlayStation 5? Not even taking PES, any PlayStation 4 game, will the cloud save work if you're playing a PlayStation 4 game on your PlayStation 5?
I believe that is on a publisher by publisher basis. In terms of there is no blanket yes or no. I think it's whether they can make it work. And not all the information has been shared on that. The only thing I could say on that, and the only reason I know is because it's something obviously fairly close to us, is this. Matt Hyland, 1975, tweeted to Konami UK this morning. Quick question. If someone is playing PES 2021 on their brand new PS5, fingers crossed, will they be able to use their option file and saves from the PS4? And the response is, we don't have an answer for you quite yet, but our aim is to make sure everyone is informed on the topic of PES 2021 on PS5 before the console launches. So, pass. Hopefully we can. It would be nice. I would say don't hedge your bets on it though. Not in terms of I don't think it will happen. Just protect yourself. If you want to play your Master League, just be aware that you might not be able to take it forward. If you can, then that's wonderful. If you can't, then well, you're not missing out on anything. It's what you expected.
Yeah.
So that and then the same into other games.
You see, I understand the some of the games like Spider-Man, for instance. That's a completely remastered game. You can't take your save over. I understand that because the save file may have in the coding 1100. The new one may have 1010. So that's a little bit more obvious, and I can deal with that. But if it's the same game, I mean, it's literally the same game, just download it on a different console. That's the thing that I'm not too sure about, and one of the reasons why I may actually try to complete as many games as I can on my PlayStation 4 in case that the worst comes to worst and you can't move your saves over. Like I'm like halfway through the Star Wars game that you let me about 7 months ago. So I need to finish that, obviously, to give you back and before I move consoles. Mafia, I'm literally halfway through that at the moment again. So I want to get that finished before I move console over. So there is still games. It's definitely worth if you have a backlog of games on your PlayStation 4 without having knowledge going forward to try and get them all cleared as fast as you can before moving over.
Yeah, see, I'm okay with Mafia. Mafia I'm playing on PC, so that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Gary says the cooling system on it should be incredible as they're using liquid metal on it rather than thermal paste. Do you know, I've never had any issues. Well, most people haven't had any issues with cooling on consoles, apart from the Xbox wrapping it in towels and shit like that. I've never had to worry about the heat of a console that much before. This one is just... and I think it's down to poor manufacturing rather than anything else. I mean, obviously the fact that the system itself clearly isn't designed in the way that eradicates heat, okay, that's an issue. But if you get one that's been manufactured well, then you don't have to worry about that. Mine clearly hasn't been manufactured as well because I don't know anyone else that's had their console blue screen from a smoke grenade in PUBG. I know people that hear it go shh, like full on loud, like over the top, but not actually shutting off. And I think that's mine just got the crap end of the stick when it came to having the thermal paste putting on.
Just had a thought as well. Do you remember? And this might be for the oldies in the chat. Do you remember the days? Yeah, of the Xbox 360 faceplates.
Yes, I have one still.
Yeah, underneath my desk in work. Yeah. In the box.
My Final Fantasy one that was never taken out. That was because, and I've mentioned a few times on the script before, I had like 3 Red Ring of Death consoles on the Xbox 360 or something like that. It was, and that was 3 different consoles. Each one of them had died and been sent to Germany and brought back to me as well. I had about 6 or 7 replacements if you include all of the sending back and forwards. So yeah, that was my 3rd console I think I purchased. It was the Final Fantasy 15 or whatever it was, 14 edition that had like the hard drive with the Final Fantasy bit and the front plate. So yeah, you've got my Final Fantasy thing under your desk at work.
Without one of them big fat Xbox 360 to be able to put it on anymore. But anyway, imagine it looks like a piece of piss being able to take them panels off. Do you reckon that they may end up selling just the panels to be able to customize your own PlayStation 5?
100%. I absolutely believe. I mean, I don't know that for certain. I believe that is the case. If you can buy phone cases and Switch cases and Joy-Con controller kits and stuff like that, absolutely 100%, that will be a thing. If you want to buy a black case for your PlayStation, you don't want it to be white. If you want a Miles Morales one, guaranteed there will be Balenciaga cases and Dior and things like that.
The North Face.
Yeah, exactly. With an F rather than a TH. The North.
There's a lot of cheating mill jobs going on here.
Get yourself on DHgate. So yeah, there will be a lot of that stuff. I absolutely 100% believe that.
License to print money, I think.
The interesting thing though is we've had. I mean, how many? We've had The Last of Us PS4, we've had the Star Wars PS4, we've had the Spider-Man PS4, we've had Metal Gear Solid PS4s and things like that. Like,
most 600 million ones.
Yeah, exactly. 500 million. There you go. Big, sexy blue bad boys. A lot of that gets eradicated now. So now you can if you want the Star Wars PS4, you just buy the bit of plastic off of Argos.com that's got the Star Wars logo on it. Jobs are good, and that's it. I mean, obviously it doesn't necessarily change the center bit, which is the big black bit of plastic and the vent grill cover, things like that. But yeah, it will be easier to customize your consoles now. I 100% believe you'll get some official and third-party aftermarket parts for replacement.
Yeah.
Collars.
I seen a brand new version of the Spider-Man Miles Morales one yesterday, knocking around Twitter, and I was meant to send it you.
It was the Let's Go Digital incredible one again, the one with the spider 3D sort of like embossed spider inside. Danielle showed it me, and she was like, "Have you seen the new Spider-Man thing yet?" I was like, "I've seen older ones." She's like, "No, this one looks legit." And I was looking at it, I was like, "It fucking looks legit," as if they've actually done that. I've not even seen. As soon as everyone's pre-ordered, they go, "Oh yeah, there's another one." I mean, I'd have probably still gone for the white one anyway. But I was like, as if you've done it just after, and then it was only after looking through it that I realised that actually it was just a Let's Go Digital thing. Anyway, I've heard Bibby say here it is. I'm assuming he's posting a link in the chat, so I'll catch up through the chat. Asim says, yeah, Xbox UK Twitter saw that. It kind of backfired. There's a time and a place to take advantage. So I'm going to stop there because I know what Asim is saying next. I love the idea that Xbox UK clearly the team that's running the Xbox UK account, I don't know if that's still the team at Edelman, the social media agency, or not. They understand that having a bit of personal banter and personable accounts is good. So what they've tried to do is have a little bit of humour, which they've done a few times already, but context matters, which is where Asim says, seeing as they preach the quote, make love and no console wars, yeah, backfired. And that's it. If you can't say, no, we all should be in it together. Nobody should have exclusives. No, we're all gamers. We're all one family. But then going, okay, you can pre-order our stuff now better than PlayStation did. Oh, you can turn ours on its side better than PlayStation did. It's just fanning the fanboy war. So I completely agree with that. It's harmless for us normal people, but those like trolls, the cretins on the internet that just get angry at each other because they bought a different box than the one that they've bought. Yeah, it just fuels that. So I agree. Is that the reason for them deleting it? I didn't even know it had been deleted until I went to look for it to show it this morning. So I don't know if they've apologised, if there's any context other than just shit, yeah. Whether they've had a slap internally or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, Gary says yeah. Gary says yeah. It's mainly huge due to the fan events. Should be quiet. James says I like the PS5 teardown. Nice to know more about it before launch and what it's like on the inside, and possible expansion for SSDs as well. The only thing that's a bit annoying is you have to take off the panel if you want to expand storage. Minor, but still, yeah, I agree. I mean, that said, PS3, you had to take off the side, unscrew the hard drive, take it out, and then get like a cage thing to mount in your hard drive to put your hard drive back in. So it's better than that. But yeah, I agree. They could do what one of those old school student Space Saver PC cases and just bolt VESA mount on one of the side panels. That's not a bad idea. Sounds like it's down to the developer. Oh, that's regarding the next gen saves. Playing the PS4 game on a PS5, the save will work. Playing the PS5 version with a PS4 save is still up in the air. Good point. We're thinking of backwards compatible. What? Yeah, like in that sort of sense. Forwards compatible. I don't know. Whatever. PS5 to PS4. That way, yeah, I get it. For example, some saves on FIFA 21 will work on the PS5. Career mode won't transfer across, but Ultimate Team will. Apparently, you've got to feel that's because that's server side. So anything that's user side won't, but server side will, because it's you just asking a database where you are and your progress is. Good morning, Chappers. Considering you can now 3D print your own panels or just paint them. Definitely going to customize mine to make a Dark Knight / Batman one. Gary says, I've always said I'd buy a ton of the 360 face. I always said I'd buy a ton of the 360 faceplates at the time. I never bought one. Yeah, that's me. PS4 custom panels, yes, although it didn't really work that well on 360. Never sold many when I worked at Game Station, but could work this time around. PS5, yeah. Matt bought PS5 panels would look amazing. And then there we go. Let's Go Digital. This is the link that we've just been talking about. This is the Let's Go Digital mock-up of the Spider-Man Miles Morales PS4. Let's Go Digital. You can't see them because of our panel on screen, so let me hide that. Brought to you by Let's Go Digital. Bring it back. So this is visualized by Snorri. I don't know, can't read that. And brought to you by Let's Go Digital. Basically, this is a company that makes 3D digital concepts. So when you'll have seen the Pizza Slice Warmer PS5 dev kit mocked up, those were assets by Let's Go Digital. So they do this sort of kind of thing. That's kind of their bread and butter, making 3D concepts and designs. I assume they do it for a living, but then obviously to get column inches and exposure, they do it with things like this. So this isn't real. This is their representation of what a custom console could look like. Does look good, though. Does look good. Would you buy that, babe?
Absolutely. It looks mint. I'd much rather a Batman one. But, I mean, I think I seen Asim said that he's going to definitely try and customize mine for a Dark Knight Batman one. I would absolutely be all over that. But, I mean, this Spider-Man one is still amazing. I can't wait to see what people's creative... Because if first parties are going to do this, you can absolutely guarantee that third parties will as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The only other thing to mention, which isn't in this, I know we're talking about console warring and stuff, but obviously we're not console warring because we're not fanboys either way. But one thing to mention when we do start the console war discussion, i.e. looking at the other side of the fence, is this console is massive because they've made a lot of space to allow for air extraction. The whole back of the console is a vent. The whole front top is vents. There's a fan that can draw air from both sides. it chucks all of the crap into one area that can easily be cleaned. So it starts to make you think, okay, that makes sense as to why there's that much space. So is that going to be an issue for the Xbox? And I have seen a lot of comments on how the Xbox Series X is basically an engineering marvel in terms of the way that the whole box is a fan. So air is passed all the way through it to keep everything cool. And everything is stacked in nice and tightly. But after seeing this yesterday, it was probably early lunchtime-ish, I think, when I saw this video. And then after that, I saw a lot of comments about the Xbox Series X being very, very hot. A lot of people saying that people that have had access to it have touched it whilst they were playing games, and the comments, it was something along the lines of it's hot enough to heat a flat. That's how hot it is. It's basically a little heater in the side of it, which then makes me think, is that going to be an issue? Because, I mean, heat for a piece of technology for a sustained amount of time can be dangerous. Heat for a piece of technology that you have to have for the next 7 to 8 years. Now, when I say dangerous, I don't mean it's going to set your house on fire, but I mean it could cause the electronics to fail. Could that be an issue that we have with the Series X? Have you guys seen any more comments like that? The only one that I've seen directly and not been recycled on social media, so quotes of quotes, is I said seen directly. I've heard it said yesterday, and that was on the Kind of Funny Games Daily yesterday. Greg James, who has one of these, says that he touched it when it was idle and it was cool. There was no heat. Other people have said it's had heat when it's idle. Or the main, obviously, people say it has heat when you're playing. He said he had no heat. So the caveat is, he says it's not the same for him. So maybe there's just a few dodgy consoles out there. I don't know. But yeah,
Greg James.
Greg James from Kind of Funny Games Daily, not the BBC Radio 1. I mean, Greg Miller, that's the one.
I was like, Greg James, why has he been on Radio 1 talking about the Xbox?
Yeah, so what's your problem? Honestly, stop hating Greg James. He's a media professional. He could do what he wants.
I mean, I love Greg James.
Clearly not. Honestly, when he steps into video games, that's it. Get out of here.
Big Greg James talking about Xbox. Anyway, here's Drake.
And another one. Greg Miller, then. His isn't kicking out shitloads of heat, although he did say that he hasn't been over and touched it when it was playing. He's only touched it when it was idle. He says, I don't get why people would go over and touch it when it's playing, which I agree with. You don't necessarily think, I'm playing Star Wars, let me just pause it and see if my PlayStation's hot. you play it until your PlayStation goes, fuck, this is hot.
Yeah, as long as it's not loud, I mean, it can kick out as much heat as it wants. As long as I know it's not going to blow up and it's not loud, that's all I want. I don't think that's much to ask from a console or any electronic device. That one, it's not going to explode, and two, it's not going to deafen you.
Yeah, it's you kind of, that should be a bit of a given. One, don't kill me, and two, don't interrupt me playing the game that you're there for. That's literally that. There should be a given.
That's all you need. The first two things that you write on the whiteboard when you design a new console.
One, do not kill the consumers.
And don't have to wear noise cancelling headphones so you can enjoy the game that you're playing.
I mean, that's the only reason we have 3D audio on PlayStation, so they can deafen you, so you don't hear the fans in the background.
Thank God for Astros.
Chappers, if I had a PS5, I'd want to make a Pittsburgh Steelers one with the armband pattern on it and the black, yellow, and white. I can't remember what the Pittsburgh Steelers kit looks like, but yeah, I'm on board for that. The PS5 panels I would love more than anything would be retro grey PS1 panels and black PS2 retro one. See, I'm more on board generally with the PS1 idea, that retro grey we were talking about the other day. However, for this, I would probably go for the PS2 because the centre column's going to remain black. And I think if I was going to have classic retro PlayStation, any of the black paneling through the middle would kind of break that immersion for me in there. So I wouldn't be surprised, though. We can all call it now. They will make a 30th anniversary PS5 in 5 years' time, which will just be perfectly grey and minimal. Yeah, they did it for the 20th anniversary. They'll do it for the 30th as well. Come and give us your unpopular opinion. Something up till now that you've been scared to say. Hey? What? What?
Is that him asking us, or is that something that you've seen on social media?
I'm not sure. It's in quotes. What do you mean, chappers? Explain. Mr. T says, yeah, I've seen a few things about the Series X being hot. That if it's hot, that means the heat extraction is working. But if it stays hot for that long, then that could be an issue over time. David says, I don't know about consoles. I've just seen Chapper's comment. Okay, I get it. I'll come back to that in a second. David's concept says, I don't know about consoles, but other electronics have to be soak tested for at least 24 hours to make sure they don't self-destruct under sustained standard use conditions. I imagine it'll be the same for consoles. But yeah, Chapper's saying it's Greg James's comment. I get it now. It's the come and give us your unpopular opinion. Something up until now you've been scared to say it or whatever. He sings it to a tune as he's on the show. You can tell I don't listen to the radio much anymore. But yeah, there you go. I have heard it. I used to listen to it when I was in the car getting Chloe from school or driving home. But obviously, COVID life means I'm not in the car that much anymore. So. I think some of the heat issue reports are fake as well, as one article stated that a writer from a French website said that he had issues with the heat, and the writer came out and said that he never said it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's what I was saying with a bit of a caveat. I'm not sure. It could easily. I mean, when you're looking at people slating consoles on social media, my instant thought is possibly bullshit, because that's someone from the blue side hating the green or the green side hating the blue and vice versa. So yeah, the only person I've heard directly say it was Greg James from BBC Radio 1 Kind of Funny. Greg Miller. He said that it was fine for him. But then again, it could just be dodgy console. It could be, because these aren't fully fledged. I mean, they're effectively fully fledged, but these are the first off the production line. You instantly feel, well, they're going to be made to a high level. They're going to be quality control tested. Some could get through there a bit dodgy. The first iteration of any console is a bit dodgy anyway. But even still, whether they are dodgy or not, I don't know if that is the case. That's the point. Mr.
Graham, can you explain to me what a soak is?
A soak is when you turn the bath on after a long day and you just chill in it for 25-30 minutes.
The only thing that I think that I've had to when I think of soak, I don't immediately think of someone in the bath. I don't know why, but I usually think it's like when you buy a new dartboard and you need to soak it for 48 hours in water, the cork, so that it all expands and you can throw a dart and it won't bounce back out. That's what I think of. I don't really want to soak my PlayStation 5 in water for 48 hours.
No, you have to. You have to. It's like those people that get told to put their iPhone in the microwave to charge the battery or whatever.
Yeah.
I've just done what Chappers has had and Googled it just for the confirmation. This is off the well-known reliable source, Wikipedia. Soak testing involves testing a system with a typical production load over a continuous availability period to validate system behavior under production use. It may be required to extrapolate the results, if not possible to conduct such an extended test. Basically, just stress testing the system. Overloading it, making it overheat for long periods of time, so you can see if it's going to combust or distract you from playing your games with stupidly loud noises. One or the other, maybe.
What does it sound like, Graham?
It sounds a little bit like that's kind of it.
Soak. Of all the words that they could have used, soak. It's just it seems like the counter opposite of what it is that they're going to be trying to do. I'm going to soak it for 24 hours. What do you mean? I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to stress the fuck out of it.
Stress testing. It's just like, you've got deadlines. It needs to be finished by 12. Console just sat there panicking. Oh shit! I need to play God of War Ragnarok, but I've got a fucking exam that needs to be done in 12 minutes. Anyway. Enough of the dodgy bounce. Let's finish up the comments so we can jump onto the next conversation, which isn't too far away. My favourite is you have to wash your electric guitar with hot soapy water. Someone somewhere has done it. Someone has done it. Absolutely, they have to have. Soak is just continuous testing, basically console-wise, keeping it on for 1 or 2 days. David says, I hated it when it came down to my coursework in college. Yeah, David had to soak all the things. Idiots will fall for stupid bait consistently. 100%, they will. Literally, we've all seen the images of people's mobile phones in microwaves that have just exploded. So yeah, people will do this. Anyway, moving on to the next story. As I say, not too far away. We are sticking with the conversation around PlayStation. This one is written by Steph Nunneley for VG247. It says PlayStation Trophy enhancements coming with a new leveling structure and more. Sony is changing up the PlayStation Trophy system, which will begin rolling out today. This was yesterday, obviously. Changes to the PlayStation Trophy system are coming today, and one of the main takeaways is Sony will increase the trophy level range from the current 1 to 100 to 1 to 999. You may have all had emails on this. I definitely saw an email coming yesterday detailing this. But following the update, scroll mouse. Why are you not scrolling? There we go. Following the update, too far. You will find your trophy level will automatically be remapped to a new level based on what you have currently earned. An example offered was that if you are at trophy level 12, your new level will jump to somewhere in the low 200s. The exact level will depend on the number and grades of trophies you've acquired. Another big takeaway is the new level calculation structure, which is more optimized and rewarding. Here, you will find the ability to progress more quickly through the early levels. Levels will also increase more consistently, while platinum trophies will count more towards your level progression. New trophy level icons have also been updated, and for PlayStation 5, as well as the PlayStation app at a later date. Currently, the trophies icon is just a single gold star, but Sony is adding a few variants. So bronze will be the first 300 levels, silver the next 3, gold the next 3, and then platinum will be level 999. The icons will also have a subtle distinction which will provide a visual idea of how close you are to the next level. Sony also clarified that all trophies earned on previous PlayStation systems will come with you to PlayStation 5, as will other generational transitions. PS5 will launch on the 19th of November. I mean, this doesn't really appeal to me. I have one platinum, and surprisingly, it's PUBG. Surprise, surprise, that's what it is. And even that only happened because I realised, like, I don't know, maybe months after being like 99% of the way there, that I only had one more mission to do. So I was like, oh, well, I'll go out on my way to do that one mission. I'm not a trophy hunter. But I know a lot of people are. But quite big changes for people that, like, there are whole websites, whole channels dedicated towards trophy hunting. So changing the system from a 1 to 100 to a 1 to 1000 basically is a big change. What are your thoughts, Bib?
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. I don't know. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a system that needed changing. If I was being honest, it's a good system. It worked previously. I don't understand why they needed to change it up. I am a trophy collector-ish. I will go for the ones that are absolutely attainable. Usually ones that mean that you can play through the campaign various times. Like if you have alternative endings or you need to try and do a mission faster. The only ones that I don't try and get are usually the ones where it's usually in first-person shooters, if I'm being honest, where it'll say gets 130,000 kills with the pistol.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking, it's using the pistol is like the most ridiculous gun in the game. Why am I going to do that? Ones that are going to take me an absolute slog to be able to do, I never will do. But in storyline games, a lot of them are usually attainable anyway. But like collect all of the pieces of paper, collect all the comic books, finish the mission on easy, finish it on normal. The best thing about playing games on hard difficulty, though, any good game, if you complete the game on hard, will unlock all of the easy and normal ones at the same time. So you get ×3 of your trophies. I love that. Like Halo, for instance, they've always done that. That's been nice. You complete it on hard, you get 3 lots of trophies. So I like the attainable ones. The ones that I don't like are usually the ones where you have to go through an absolute grind to be able to get it. And I've just got absolutely no patience in getting them ones. But I mean, the trophy system is what it is. I'm surprised they've changed it. I didn't think it needed to change. I mean, clearly someone or somewhere has managed to get all of the trophies ever and got to a certain level now, and it's not feasible for them to be able to continue, which is probably why they changed it up.
That was
yeah.
Asim and Gary, by the way. They have all of the trophies ever.
Yeah.
Confirmed in chat. Good that Gary Clark and I got the Mafia Platinum recently then. Chappers says the new trophy levels icons are clean as hell. David says, I wouldn't fault for the guitar one because Inspector Gadget, they did a more type thing on it. So I'm guessing that a fair few American kids in the 80s and 90s tried it. Probably. James says, I've never been bothered about achievements, even though some are funny and cool, or trophies. But I get some people love them. Asim says, yeah, I like this. Nice and clean with better weighting for different trophies. Chapper says, 100% saw one video of some guy giving his guitar a full-on bubble bath, basically. Funny.
I like the thought if you was to achieve something in the game, like you get your trophies. I'd much prefer it if there was something to attain at the end of it. Like if you got a platinum on a particular game, it would then unlock a wallpaper for your PlayStation or something like that. So something to actually gain at the end of it rather than a number next to your name. I think that would be pretty cool.
I like the idea of platinums. So like playing through games on easy, medium, hard. I often just play through on the medium kind of level because most of the time I lean towards I want to play it on easy because that way I can get through the game. I don't have the time to play that many games, but I also don't want to ruin the game by playing it on easy because then it's not a challenge and it's literally the shootout bits between the story advancements are just if you play it too easy they just become barriers. You have to get past the shootout to get to the next bit of story. So I don't like it to be too easy, but I also don't want it to be too hard that I keep dying so many times that I'm thinking, oh, fuck. I just need to get through the game because I want to enjoy the story and finish it. So I want to get that balance. So quite often I play on the medium level kind of thing, but then that instantly just turns me off trophies then because if you have to play it through hard or if you have those ones where it's like play through the story which unlocks like story mode plus new game plus kind of thing and then play through it again to go through that stuff. I was like, okay, you've got me through your story once. That's quite an achievement. Me getting through it again, that ain't gonna happen. So yeah, most of the time I don't touch that stuff. But the fact that they recognize that there are a lot of people that do trophy hunt and they need to make the system a bit more substantial for that potentially is good. And if they can do it with pretty little icons, that's fine. Nice, yeah. Asim says, I'm not a trophy hunter per se, just tend to platinum games I really enjoy. God of War, The Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, Mafia, etc. I have 14 platinums, I think, which is level 19 in the current system. So 19 out of 999, is that what you mean? Because that would infuriate the fuck out of me. If I've platinumed 14 games. Bear in mind, I've platinumed one. After 25 years of being in the PlayStation ecosystem, obviously we've had a trophy system for that long, but for 25 years of being in the PlayStation ecosystem, I have one platinum trophy. If you've got 14 and you're on level 99, I must be level half.
Yeah.
Level 19 in the current system, as in not changed the new one yet. Okay. See, that's a bit better. That's a bit better because you're 20% of the way into it, which would be okay. But yeah, if you was 19%, not even 19%, what's that? Is it like 2% almost into it kind of thing? It would have been. Chapper says, I have one platinum and it's The Walking Dead Telltale Season 1 because finishing the game on any difficulty gives you a platinum. Okay. They stopped giving out a platinum for Telltale games as far as I know as a result of it. Yeah, it was like getting 1,000 gamer score on Xbox games. There were certain games, like I remember Fight Night Round 3 was the easiest game to get 1,000 for. You pretty much just start a career mode.
Finish the game.
Yeah, that's it. Job done. James says, I agree with Bibe. If they actually offered something for getting a platinum, like a new unlockable ending, wallpapers, icons, or stuff for the game itself, then it's something to work towards instead of making a grind for some. Some of us know.
Mine's changed.
What's changed?
Yeah, mine's changed. I've just gone to the PlayStation.com website, and mine says now 250.
So there you go. You're 25% of the way through. Mine wouldn't be anywhere near that, I'd imagine.
I've got one platinum. I don't even know what that is.
There's me thinking I'm an underachiever. Captain one platinum over there, and over here as well.
I've got a lot more during the 360 days. I've got a lot of thousands. I don't actually know what one platinum is. I'm guessing it is Telltale Walking Dead because it was a piece of piss.
So how do you see it? Do you click on your user account? It's making me sign in and shit. Fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Yeah, I do like the idea of unlocking things to give you more incentive to play through. I do love that idea. That would give me a bit more reason to play through it. So I've got a really cool really cool Last of Us. I say that because there's a Mafia Definitive Edition on the panel. I'm not on the site in front of me. Like absolute placement inside my head. I've got a really cool Last of Us theme, like the day-night theme. So if you have it on during the day, it shows Ellie sat at a tree with a guitar. If you have it on during the night, she's sat at the tree with like a knife in a hand or an axe or something. And there's people
Yeah.
with torches coming to try find her in the woods and that sort of stuff. If that sort of stuff you unlock as you play through, that is cool. Because I went out of my way to get that theme. If it required me to play the game in a certain way, I would make sure that I did that. How do I see my trophy level?
If you click top right hand corner when you've signed in, it should say whatever it is. Then go to your profile.
Profile, trophies,
and then
12. 30%, 1 platinum, 35 all of total 9, 10. Is that what I am? 9, 10 out of.
No, well, mine says trophies, and then there's like a little trophy icon, then 250, then the long bar saying 56%, and then it'll break it down. Like,
Do you know what? Let's come back to that. I've got.
yours may not have changed yet.
Yeah, potentially. Okay, we'll leave that as is. We'll come back to that. And here's me with no platinum, says Chucky. Honestly, Chucky, Captain 1 platinum over here. I feel like an absolute VIP now. Me. Yeah, it's PUBG, which is a game that I played for about a bajillion years, so it's kind of to be expected at this point. Anyway, so yeah, PS5, and obviously all other PlayStation consoles will see changes. They are doing that to account for PlayStation 5, but anything that you've had on PS4 and 3 as well will move forward to PS5, so your trophies will keep going with you, so you can see your history on PlayStation. Let's jump into the next story. Yeah, because we're almost approaching an hour in. Obviously, we're an hour and 5 minutes of live, but almost approaching an hour in. So let's jump ahead into the next bit of news. Moving away from PlayStation and into the other side of the market, Microsoft says using xCloud to demo Game Pass games on PC and Xbox is on the list, and it's a good Game Pass feature. This is written by Yin-Poole for Eurogamer. Microsoft is working on bringing xCloud to PC and Xbox via Game Pass. Xbox boss. Hey! No, I got it. I don't know. I don't know if I said it right. Did I say Xbox or?
That sounded right.
Oh, okay. Do you know what?
It sounded right. We'll take it.
Nice. Xbox boss Phil Spencer took to Twitter to respond to a question asking if the cloud gaming service will, at some point, let Xbox Game Pass subscribers demo games instead of having to download them. Yes, we want to do this, Spencer replied. It's in the long list of cool things that the xCloud team is working on just a bit further down the list, but we want console and PC players to be able to browse as easily as mobile players. It's a good Game Pass feature. xCloud launched proper in September as part of Xbox Game Pass on Xbox X. My God, I fucked it up already. Sorry, boys, I've let us down. He's back. Just as Chappers types. He did it in the chat. xCloud launched proper in September as part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on Android phones and tablets only. Microsoft is still in dispute with Apple over cloud gaming popping up on the App Store, but it's also not available on PC or Xbox consoles yet. There's no time frame for when xCloud will be available on PC or Xbox. Back in March 2020, The Verge reported that Microsoft had started testing xCloud for Windows PC. The preview version lets you stream Xbox games to a PC via an Xbox game streaming app that will be available from the Windows Store. As someone that has tinkered with xCloud and given away a Game Pass PC code just this week, Bib, what are your thoughts on this?
I like the idea. I do like the idea, especially when the games, like for instance, I posted something on Twitter a couple of weeks ago before I bought ODST on Steam. If you was to just download the Master Chief Collection, just one of the games, you have to install the entire Explorer, which is about 110 gig before you even touch any of the games itself. So if you could just stream those, that'll be fantastic. Your PC will probably have a much better connection than it would do with Wi-Fi on your phone or whatever tablet, whatever it is that you're going to be using to try and play xCloud, as your PC will 9 times out of 10 be Ethernet cabled in. So the likelihood that you're going to receive any kind of lag or any frame drops is going to be significantly lower than it would be if you was using your phone. So for me, it's a perfect opportunity to be able to test this kind of thing on my PC. I think it is a massive and a well-received feature if we do get that sometime soon. I mean, I'm more than happy to wait. I've got Xbox Game Pass on my PC, so the games that I'll be playing, I'm more than happy to just leave my PC downloading overnight. I make it out like I've got really bad internet, but I haven't. It's okay. I only get 70 in the I get 70 meg in once in a blue moon. It's usually around 56, which is more than enough for me to be able to play games and stream. It'll be nice if I had a faster download, so that when I want to be able to play a game that I've bought, I can download it quicker. But apart from that, it's more than as long as I can stream and play games. Well, it don't bother me. But having something like this would be amazing.
Yeah, so I've kind of slept on xCloud, obviously, because as soon as I didn't get into the iPhone test, I was like, well, fuck this shit, I'm out. And then it got killed for iPhones. I was like, well, do you know, whatever, mate, whatever. So to confirm,
Didn't want to play it anyway, man.
yeah, right, ask me. Microsoft says xCloud is using. Microsoft says using xCloud to demo Game Pass games on PC and Xbox is on the list. So is this when they say demo? I mean, are they talking about like being able to play xCloud through Game Pass on Xbox and PC? So they want to bring xCloud to Game Pass and PC, to PC and Xbox, should I say? Or are they talking about Game Pass games through xCloud?
I mean, the super. You should be able to play. I don't know whether or not Games Pass has the same games as xCloud. I'm going to say no because I don't remember seeing it has much on xCloud on my phone when I was testing it out than it did on my Games Pass on PC. I'm just going to say that there was some games missing. Don't know if that's true or not, but it didn't look like there was as much. So I'm not too sure with that. But yeah, I mean, fuck it, if you're streaming entire games over your internet, Stadia you needed to be on the Wi-Fi. I don't was it? Did you have any Ethernet cable with Stadia? I think you did actually. Yeah, I think the Chromecast 2.0 had HDMI, had a Ethernet port at the bottom of it for you to be able to stream it via Ethernet. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Just reading back through Phil Spencer's comment, it says, yes, we want to do this. It's in the long list of cool things the xCloud team is working on, just a bit further down the list. But we want console and PC players to be able to browse as easily as mobile players. It's a good Game Pass feature. So yeah, they want xCloud and Game Pass to be bundled in together, and via PC or via console or via mobile, they want it so that you can access all Game Pass games.
Yeah.
On the fly through the cloud, which is cool. I mean, we said before that is the future. That's where we want to get to. We take the piss out of Stadia incessantly because they've let us down, and we bought Stadia. But xCloud is getting there, and if it's not there yet, as he said, it's things like this are down the list. But yeah, that's the future, and one day we will get there. So nice. Anyway, enough of the future. Let's just jump back into the past before we wrap things up. As this final news article written by Andy Robinson for VGC says, Sega's next retro console could be the Dreamcast Mini, says the producer. Game Gear Micro released in Japan this month, but its producer says the next release must be global. Sega's next retro console could be a Dreamcast Mini, according to the hardware line's content lead and producer. Yosuke Okanari discussed the future of Sega's mini consoles in the latest issue of Famitsu. The publisher's latest mini console, the Game Gear Micro, was released exclusively in Japan this month, and Okanari suggested that for his next project he would like to deliver hardware that had stronger global potential. For the next mini, we're considering everything that has been imagined by everyone, he said. Of course, it doesn't mean we can realise all of them. We're also thinking about projects that nobody has imagined. The Game Gear Micro is only sold domestically in Japan. When we do the next one, I feel like the project scope will be much bigger as we gaze upon the world, he added. Okanari said the next mini console would likely take more time to bring to the market than the Game Gear Micro, so we won't be able to release it as at this time next year or 2 years after the Mega Drive Mini. We can't make it that quickly, he said. I think for the next one, we may go with the concept close to the Mega Drive Mini. If I have to say some names, it could be an SG-1000 Mini or a Dreamcast Mini. Dreamcast was Sega's final home console, marking the end of the Japanese company's near 20-year stint in the console hardware market. However, despite its short lifespan, the console produced many critically acclaimed games, such as Shenmue, Soul Calibur, Phantasy Star Online, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, and Rez. The console enjoyed a strong launch in North America, backed by a significant marketing campaign, but ultimately sales declined as Sony's PlayStation 2 arrived on the market. Despite price cuts and critically acclaimed game releases, Sega decided to discontinue the Dreamcast on March the 31st, 2001, and restructure itself as a third-party publisher. The Game Gear Micro released in Japan on October the 6th, for £50, and the palm-sized version of the 1998 handheld measures blah blah blah. Okay, we don't need to worry about the Game Gear Micro, but the Dreamcast could be coming back as a mini console.
Yeah, man.
Look at Bibby's face. I mean, Bibby, thoughts?
I'm excited, man. Like, this is definitely up there with one of the mini consoles that I would absolutely love, even more so than the PlayStation. I think there's a lot of games that I think a lot of people would have missed out on because it came at a time. I think the Dreamcast came out at a time where we just had some absolutely outstanding consoles in the market. I didn't actually own one of these. A couple of my friends had them. I was the guy with the PlayStation 2.
Me too.
So I didn't get to play this. I didn't get to play a lot of these. The games that I did get to play a lot of, I'm excited to be able to play again, like the likes of Crazy Taxi. I mean, if we can get a Fantasy Star Online, which I think was one of the first MMOs that I actually be able to set my eyes on, if we could play that again, imagine if it had an Ethernet cable at the back of this minute and we can play Fantasy Star Online again. I have actually got Fantasy Star Online for my 360, but I don't think the servers are online with that anymore. But that's the last time that I would have seen that. But yeah, having Code Veronica X, the Resident Evil Code Veronica X on there, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. I'm sure Virtual Striker came out on that as well, but definitely Virtua Tennis was on there. So yeah, there's an absolute ton of games. I think this console would be, I think, probably more welcome than the PlayStation 1 Classic, because of the game selection on the PlayStation 1 Classic was so weak compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. That's why so many people were hacking it and sideloading their own games on it because it was just
Yeah,
it was
it died on release, which is it's a crying shame. The PlayStation 1 Classic should have never died on release. It is so, the console itself with the games that came out at the time were phenomenal, and it's just, again, a crying shame that we didn't get to see the games that should have been out and that it should have been marketed so much better than it was. And I don't know whether or not it was just down to the licenses, which is immediately the first thought that comes to mind when it comes to side loading. Being able to have the games on release, it all comes down to licenses. Bear in mind that these games were at the time 25. Well, but some of them were 25 years old. So being able to have licenses for those games, again, crying shame. But hopefully we'll be able to, if this was a thing, then we'll be able to play these absolute bangers. Again, please make it so that it has an Ethernet cable so we can play Fantasy Star Online. I think that would be one of the things that sold the console, like having a mini. That, I mean, Raspberry Pis have Ethernet cables on the side, so there's no reason why this can't. But then again, the operating system would have to ding a server somewhere, which that would then
I think that's the main thing is not so much the getting it online. It's then the online infrastructure that would need to support that. That's where extra cost comes in. So if you have the Dreamcast Mini, if you had Fantasy Star Online, you'd probably have to have that as a standalone game that you have to then purchase to pay for the server costs and things like that, unless Dreamcast and Sega fund the server costs on behalf of the Fantasy Star Online team. So that's where you start to get the issues with it. But yeah, I was one of those PS2 owners. I didn't have a Dreamcast. The first Dreamcast I played was actually owned by Mr. Jim Butters, who's just had the last comment in the chat. It was his Dreamcast. He was the one that I played most things on back in Grangemore in Huddersfield. James says, I love the Dreamcast. Would I get a mini? I don't know, as I have a Dreamcast and some amazing games for it. Oh, am I kidding? Of course I will.
Again, it's just the nostalgia. Well, being able to plug one of these consoles in to your TV via HDMI, that's obviously the biggest plus. Also, the other biggest plus is, I don't put this without sounding. People will be able to add stuff to it, whether that's legal or not. So you'll be able to play a bigger catalogue of games. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that's easier.
You want to illegally chip it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, well done, Graham. But I mean, 2 games. How could I forget? We're going back to Quake, baby. Get that fucker online so we can play Quake online again. And House of the Dead. House of the Dead. We can't use light guns on TVs anymore, so let's just bring House of the Dead back so I can play with my console. Homebrew. That's the phrase I'm looking for, Asim. Yes.
See, I always think Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is the game that always jumps.
I got that same, mate. A lot of people say Jet Set Radio, but I didn't get the hype. With Jet Set Radio.
Never played it. Chris Locke, aka I don't know what his Twitch is actually. I don't know if it's under the Cardboard Zero. Anyway, a Metal Gear community content creator / streamer / cosplayer / all things. Is where we originally learned from. He does much more than Metal Gear, obviously, but he absolutely loves Jet Set Radio. And I was like, I genuinely didn't even know what it was until he told me to look into it, and I was like, nope, that passed me by, completely passed me by. I've heard lots of comments about it in the same way that you always get people say things like "bring back Skate" or Simpsons hit and run kind of thing. You always like that was just another one of those things that I hear. It was noise for me. It completely missed me out. But yeah, there you go. Jumping back through the comments, Asim says, still have my Dreamcast and many games. Would buy me though, no question. Throws money at the screen. Fucking absolutely throwing pounds at us. Gary says, Ready to Rumble boxing was legit on the Dreamcast. Chapper says, Crazy Taxi was absolutely class. I consider that the thing that got me interested in punk because of Bad Religion and Offspring. Before Tony Hawk warped my mind forever. Chucky says, Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic Adventure 2, what a game. What a game.
There you go. Do you know what? We'll have to leave it there. We'll have to leave you with thoughts of Sonic Adventure 2 and Bad Religion and Offspring. There you go. The Virtua Tennis as well. Do you know what? I've said this before. I want a really good tennis game. We keep getting tennis attempts. There was one that came out earlier this year, which I'm hearing. I always hear it's okay. It's okay. I want a tennis game that kind of does what football's had a few times and pushes the boundaries, but I just don't think there's enough revenue in tennis as a game IP for a developer to invest enough into it. So we see like you always see the Lewandowski or Big Bobby L or whatever, however you pronounce his name. You always see the face comparisons of the PES versus FIFA, and you're like, okay, one of them looks one way, one of them looks the other, but they're both really good. And then you'll see like Rafael Nadal's face in tennis, and it's like, okay, that looks all right. And then everyone else looks like they've just been someone's just beating up a block of plasticine. And it's like, no, that just doesn't look good enough. And the stadiums, usually the court's fine, but the crowd's all a bit, and the mechanics of actually hitting the ball can be a bit and monotonous and repetitive over time. And eventually you figure out that you just have the guy that has the power serve, and you don't even need to play the game because you can always ace, win, boom, bosh. So I'd love to have a tennis game. Give me a tennis game. Top Spin 3 was absolutely classic. I think it was maybe one of the top spins. Was there a top spin earlier this year, like January, February, March kind of time?
Don't think there's a top spin. There was a new. Well, I don't think it's new. Is it AO Tennis?
I don't know.
Is that one of the new ones?
I don't know. The last one I played was like PS2. I gave up after like buying Smash Court Tennis Pro Tournament 2. And you could tell it was made by a Japanese publisher because it was in that era of PS2 games where when you loaded up the game, someone with an English voice just yelled the name of the game at you. And it was just like, Smash Court Tennis Pro Tournament 2. It's like, I know it is. I've just bought it. You don't have to tell me. I've put it in my PlayStation. But yeah, that was the last one that I properly got into. Rockstar should get the table tennis team to do a tennis game. And they've got one. It's GTA 5. That's true. That's true. Touche. Anyway, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us once again for another episode of The Scoop. You guys are all beautiful people. We appreciate you all being here and running through the conversations with us. This is the last scoop of the week, though. Bibi, as mentioned a few times, is abandoning us to go and have actual fun. What is this about? How dare you?
Tell me about it. It's a disgrace, isn't it?
So the Scoop isn't back until Tuesday. He's not here tomorrow and is, well, hungover as folk and recovering on Monday. So deal with it. I'm not going to. We will be back with the Scoop on Tuesday, though, as we always are. Before then, though, we have some PUBG, as you might have guessed from my hat and the branding on the back of my T-shirt. Shout out to Chicken for Charity, guys, for sending this over yesterday. So playing some PUBG. Straight after this, we'll go offline, finish the Scoop, and jump straight back on to play some PUBG. So if you want to stick around for that, feel free. If you have the game, maybe jump in, join us. I don't know. You need Discord to do that, though, because we were playing on Discord. Tomorrow, probably more PUBG as well. No Scoop. So we won't be starting at 10 a.m.-ish. We'll start a little bit later. Just have a nice, casual, chilled Friday. Job's a good one. Same thing on Monday. Before we do disappear, Bib, for the last time this week, in your case at least, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, please bear in mind that the next time we'll be going live on Tuesday is on Tuesday with the Scoop. So I'm going to tell you the spiel now. It's for Tuesday, okay? So brace yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do see any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, keep hold of it and send it us on Tuesday because that's when we'll be live again. But all you do, there's 2 ways that you can send that over to us. First of all, find us on social media. Spoiler alert, it's at Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything. Second place, join our Discord. If you are a Twitch subscriber, you also get entered into our loot drop, which I forgot to mention, Bacon Chin has already redeemed Xbox Game Pass for PC. So we will be able to re-roll this code again, which we may do with it. Do you want to do it in the PUBG so I can resend it to someone else?
When you say he's already redeemed, you mean he's not redeemed?
He's already had. So basically, you can't. This code is for new people who haven't used Game Pass PC, Game Pass for PC before, and he has. So it'll go to somebody else because he can't use it.
Nice.
So we can re-roll that to one of you lot that are in there. So if you are a Twitch, if you are a Twitch subscriber, please make sure that you are in the Discord. Time up together, you get to win good shit.
Nice.
Everton Ian ended up winning a copy of PGA Tour 2K21 as well. So yeah, there's free prizes in 2 months. You can't really argue with that, and it's all for free as well if you use Twitch Prime, obviously. But yeah, that's all you need to do. We'll be going live again on Tuesday. At what time, Graham?
10 a.m.
Ish. Kind of lost my way with that towards the end as I was explaining other things, but yeah,
Sorry,
the energy kind of died.
we get it. Send us all your news and win free shit. That's basically what it means. Nice.
Nice. Do you know what, Graham? What more can you ask for?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what I can ask for. I don't know whether I'm going to get it though. Am I going to get a squad mate in some PUBG, or are you abandoning me for golf? What's the plan?
No, the golf course has closed, so I'm going to quickly run downstairs, make a brew, make some breakfast. So if you want to play in your first game, I would definitely join in the second one.
Nice.
I might need to do an update on PUBG as well. Just put the disc in, so yeah, I might need to do an update if there's been one recently.
Coolio. Kushti. Okay, nice. At least some solos, some duos, and if you all have the game installed, because it was free on PS Plus last month, surely you've all got it installed. Then maybe some squads if you want to jump in. Anyway, you will see that after this. We're going to go offline. We'll be back online shortly. If you're watching Listen on Demand, feel free to, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Does that thing exist on Spotify and Sound? I don't know. Just hit all the buttons. Just hit the buttons.
You can follow on all of those things, yes.
Make sure you do it. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you all. As always, have yourselves a fantastic day. And if you're not back for PUBG, we'll see you tomorrow, next week, sometime. Nice. Until then, Bib, do you know what?